Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to this week's segment of Live Without Limits. Today's show is titled Find Self-Motivation to Make Positive Changes. And why do we want to find and make positive changes in our lives? Because we want to live the best quality of life possible. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward, St. John Lord. Do you struggle to find self-motivation to change your life for the better? Keep reading and learn how to gain the momentum you need to take the first step to a positive change. And what is self-motivation? Self-motivation is you believing in yourself and your abilities and you motivating yourself to achieve goals that everyone is capable of achieving. I believe that we are spiritual beings living spiritual lives. To make the most of this life, we have to take care of, nurture, and most importantly, listen to the clues that our spirit gives us. This happens mostly through gut intuition and feelings we have. At some point, we have to honor the physical side of our lives as well. That means finding self-motivation to start taking action to help. If conditions aren't perfect, it doesn't matter. If the circumstances isn't quite ideal or the person isn't following through the way they said they would, we've gotten to take all these spiritual principles and put them into action. Why is this true? One simple reason. If you have any negative thoughts, if you don't believe in your abilities, then no matter what effort you put forth, you will somehow sabotage yourself towards failure. So it's always important to remember just how important your life is and just how important you are to the universe and what you have to offer. Why? Because all of us are unique. All of us are here for a purpose. Every one of us has a reason for being here. We may not know it until we've achieved it, and we may not know it till the end of our lives, but every one of us has a reason. The thing is, if you understand, if you have self-awareness of yourself, then you are very much in tune to what your passion is and what you have to offer the people around you. Even those with greater awareness and knowledge can struggle. You know, you want to work out. You need to get into better shape for the sake of generating more energy to work towards your mission. But even so, that first step is often the hardest. Depending on how long you were on the last cycle, getting the ball rolling can feel like pushing a boulder uphill. Metaphorically speaking, you need to build the spiritual muscle that separates those who are successful from those still waiting at the gate. That spiritual muscle is momentum. So, how do you use momentum as self-motivation to change? Momentum is a force that makes it easier for someone who's successful to do what's right rather than what's wrong. Momentum is the process of getting the snowball moving. The hardest part about working out is getting to the gym. Once you get there, it's not that hard to do what you need to do. And I've been working out for over 30 years, pretty much from the time you started seeing the franchises of gyms coming along. And that was with the baby boomer generation. Because prior generations, if you got to remember that in ancient times, back during the cavemen, we were more physical. We lived on farms. We did what was necessary to work those muscles by tilling the ground, by getting out and planting crops. But as technology took over, as we started moving to the cities, we started becoming more sedentary. And it was a matter of finding a balance. And for me, exercise was very important because being someone with a disability, it was important that I exercise. So it was easy for me to motivate myself because it was, I want the ability to be able to stretch the tendons, to reach a different plateau. And I think part of my psyche about success was because I was often being told that I couldn't achieve anything by society. Because primarily before the 1970s, there were no laws that gave people with disabilities rights or opportunities in the workplace. So, and I grew up in a negative home where I was always told that I can't live alone, I can't think for myself, I can't hold a job, I can't. And it was a matter of me not only proving to myself that I was not limited, but proving to other people around me that I could live independently, that I could take care of myself, that I could get where I needed to go. And exercise kind of helped with that because it releases the endorphins that kind of overtake a lot of those negative things that you hear, and it kind of helps you believe in who you are. Plus, I studied psychology and mental health, and was always someone that wanted to help other people live a better quality of life. And in the process of helping someone else, I was also helping myself. And exercise meant that I had a better mobility, and it also meant that for 50 years, I did not have to replace the braces that I had worn as a child. When you're in motion, things begin to line up. This doesn't happen before. That goes for you, perfectionist. When in doubt, act. Do something. Do someone else once you tell them, okay, let me get it. Did someone else once tell you when you doubt to stop and think? No, I say thinking is dangerous to your wealth. Most people who I know that got rich didn't think too much. They saw a piece of property and thought, this looks good. Anything structurally wrong, environmentally? No. Good, I'll buy it. 20 years later, they're very rich. They really planned that out. Huh? Just as an aside, if you're really smart, chances are you're not going to be really rich. You're going to get, in your own way, a real momentum killer. Those who aren't too smart are open to knowing. They don't know everything they need to know to be rich, are okay acknowledging that they will eventually learn how to be rich, even if it temporarily hurts their pride to know exactly how far off they were to begin with. That is a mentality that what has happened over the years is as you went to work for the corporation, or basically it even went further than that, that as children, your mind is open. You can believe that you have insurmountable opportunities in no matter what you do, that you're capable of achieving it. But along the way, your parents, your teachers, your significant others beat you down emotionally and kind of take, and instead of expanding that mind, shrink it down to where you begin to limit yourself. So what you really need to do is to learn to open up again and be willing, because you can be smart in grades, but you can be ignorant when it comes to common sense. And common sense, if you have the right common sense that you're willing to listen, to hear, to believe, then you have insurmountable opportunities to achieve almost anything in your life. So it's a matter of being willing to understand where you're coming from. A body in motion will remain in motion, and a body at rest will remain at rest. So what should we want to do? Get into motion. Once you're there, it gets easier. We already know that. Now we got to just find the self-motivation to do it. Your turn. What in your life do you need to get started on and adjust as you go? What have you been waiting for to take action? What's the fear holding you back from finding your momentum? You will make it. Trust yourself. Love yourself. And know that you make it all up. It's your freaking story. So let's look at how you can motivate yourself towards success, towards believing in your abilities to achieve anything in life. Because you know, when you believe, when you see yourself being the one and only that can achieve those goals, here's the biggest thing is not just that we motivate ourselves to get up in the morning because we're excited about what we're doing, but what can bog us down is that along the way, especially if you're a business owner and a small businessman or an entrepreneur, you tend to want to wear all the hats. You want to do everything in your business. And then what happens is you take away from you doing the things that you really have a passion for and the things that you really love to do. And then when you get bogged down in all the other things, you lose that motivation, that excitement that you have when you start to begin with. So now you got to go back and find that motivation. Find it and exploit it for a lot of reasons. One being not just financial security, but also a sense of worth. Because I think so many of us forget that what we do is we tend to see who we are based on the job we hold or who we're married to or where we live or how many friends we have. And first of all, if you believe in yourself first, if you believe in your abilities to succeed, if you believe in who you are within yourself, then guess what? You can achieve almost anything that you believe that you have the opportunity to achieve. So it's a matter of how are you going to learn to believe in yourself, and how are you going to motivate yourself to achieve your goals. And we want to look at some of the things that you can achieve, what skills that you can have that can help you achieve some of the goals that you need. And look at it this way. Are you motivated to achieve what you really want in life? And how hard do you push yourself to get things done? Wanting to do something and motivating yourself to actually do it are two different things. So what's the difference between those who never reach their goals year after year and those who achieve one goal after another? Often it's their self-motivation. And how do you motivate yourself towards success? Self-motivation is the force that keeps pushing us to go on. It's our internal drive to achieve, produce, develop, and keep moving forward. When you think you're ready to quit something, or you just don't know how to start, your motivation is what pushes you to go on. With self-motivation, you're learning to grow regardless of specific solutions. That's what's such a fundamental tool for reaching your goals, achieving your dreams, and succeeding in this journey we call life. So, how self-motivated are you? What you can do, and here's some questions to think about. I'm unsure of my ability to achieve the goals I set for myself. And think about that. What would you say you are? Here's a couple more questions to think about. When working on goals, I put in maximum effort and work, even harder than if I've suffered a setback. How would you answer that? I regularly set goals and objectives to achieve my vision for my life. I think positively about setting goals and making sure my needs are met. So take a look at some of those things and think about how you as an individual have achieved some of your goals, or how do you motivate yourself? So motivation is what pushes us to achieve our goals, feel more fulfilled, and improve overall quality of life. It's your personal drive to achieve the desire to improve or to meet certain standards. It's your commitment to personal organizational skills and goals. It's your initiative, which is defined as readiness to act on opportunities, and optimism, the ability to keep going and pursue goals in the face of setbacks. There are many advantages to self-motivation. People who are self-motivated tend to be more organized, have good time management skills, and more self-esteem and confidence. So, and this is what happens is that if you don't have good time management skills, what happens? You don't organize yourself, you don't finish everything that you want to do for the day, and you still have work left over. And and then you start putting yourself down. Why? Because you didn't achieve things that you wanted to do. And here's another way to look at it. Some of the good time management skills will tell you prioritize all the things that you need to do. And sometimes you may even have to do the things that you don't like first so that you can get to the things that you really enjoy doing. Because once you get to those steps, you have the opportunity to put yourself in a better situation and improve some of the skills that you really want to achieve. And let's quickly talk about some of the 5 self-motivational skills and how to manage your energy. Without self-motivation skills to manage and renew your energy, the desire to get things done can rapidly evaporate. And here's what we need to look at. Energy sourcing. Where do you get your energy from? Much has been written about the importance of proper diet, exercise, and environment to it, ensuring good energy levels. To start with, some thought about. So, energy sapping. Think about what or who saps much of your energy whilst at work. While at work, can those be better managed, reduced, avoided, or even eliminated? And when you think about time management, what do you do to waste time? What do you do that as an alternative rather than doing the things that you really need to do to achieve your goals? Energy saving. Where can you conserve your energy? Anyone who tries to work flat out all the time will almost surely end up that way. And analyzing your work patterns and prioritizing your efforts are important, especially if you have trouble controlling the energy sappers, energy supplying. Try to be someone who is a source of energy for others. Be careful not to allow yourself to be overburdened here, but it's paradoxical how the act of giving can be energizing. Becoming a source of energy for others can make you feel better. Energy sustaining. Sustaining is crucial. So try to make sure that you get the energy balance between yourself and regularly think about those issues, analyze your findings, then take action. So what we're talking about is some of these steps will help you put yourself into a place of building self-assurance and encouragement. And and let's look back again at self-motivation and how you can make positive changes for yourself. And the first step is to know exactly where you are and what is keeping you from breaking those bonds and reaching your goals in life. How do you motivate yourself to get up in the morning, to go and exercise? The best way to do this is have a goal. And then look at that goal and look at how you can break that goal down to some things that are achievable. Because when you feel success along the way, then that energizes you. That motivates you to keep going, to succeed, to work on what it is that will help you achieve your goals and reach those milestones for yourself. One thing that I remember is I was reading an article and someone was saying that he looked at the row of seeds that needed to be planted, And he told his grandfather, I can't do it. You know what his grandfather did? His grandfather told him, turn around so that your back is to the end goal, so you can see your progress along the way. Because the more progress you make, the more success you receive, the more motivation you have to keep going. So there's always things that you can do that can turn yourself around. And exercise is one of the best ways to release some of those endorphins, because they really help change your thinking and help you believe it, and also give you the energy to go on, because you really want to get involved in those activities that can help you increase your energy, not reduce your energy. It's like water and fluid is the most important thing that you can put into your body, because just like the earth is what, 75% water? So our bodies have a similar ratio of fluid in our system. It's what keeps us going and keeps us motivated and keeps us headed in the right direction. And setting goals and doing something that can help you. And the moral of the story was that by turning around and having his back to the end, then what he was able to see was everything that he accomplished along the way, and it motivated him to keep going until he reached the end. And no matter what your goal is, and if you look back on some of the laws or some of the things that they've set up for people with disabilities in the school system, they usually set up an individual education plan, which is a list of goals for the individual to achieve by the end of the year. And sometimes those goals may need to be changed because maybe they're easily achievable and surpassed, or maybe they're too ambitious and they need to be adjusted down. But it varies along the way and the individual. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to motivate yourself, because you know what? When you're in motion and your body's in motion, then instead of leaving it at rest, then your mind really takes on at a different pace. And remember, you can go to my website, and that website is the #1 personalcareercoach.com. And we can sit down with you and put together some exercises that can help you change your mindset and begin to believe in yourself and motivate yourself to achieve any goal you set for yourself.